Damn, Variety actually did an article on this, how Lucasfilm execs tweet reopened the wounds of The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, those wounds have never healed. Those wounds have never healed. But who's Mitch Dyer, bottom of the barrel detected. Mitch Dyer, where do I know that name? Where do I know that name? Let's go to Disney. Star Wars is dumb. Let's see, Mitch Dyer. Let's see, Mitchdyer. Let's see, Mitch Dyer. Let's see, Mitch Dyer thinks Gina Carano is a bully. September 14th, 2020. The writer of Star Wars Squadrons Battlefront 2 is very mad, so he uses bold and brave asterisks to hide his tweet from Twitter's search function so no one knows about it. Oh, wow. Pronoun people invade Star Wars Squadrons. Mitch Dyer's the guy whose skin crawls when he's thinking of Jason Ward, who thinks Gina Carano was a bully, was told about Tyler Westhouse scandal and Raylos that Ray Carson owes them nothing? Wow. Limited partnership specialist accused of sexual assault. Man, this dude's tied up in all kinds of stuff. Par for the course at Disney Lucasfilm. So here we are with a Variety article actually speaking about this event that took place. It's amazing. Understand this. I've tried to be tempered in my last couple of videos, but understand this. It would have been good for the fandom if people with huge platforms have been standing up for the last several years for the fans who have been getting attacked for years. But we're at where we're at, and we're going to leave it at that for the moment. How a Lucasfilm exec's tweet reopened the wounds of The Last Jedi. First off, them wounds never closed. Those wounds never closed. And for those of us that have been fighting against those asshats at Disney Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy, for those of us who have been dealing with the insults, those of us who have been dealing with the fantivists that they've generated, we know and understand the company culture at Disney Lucasfilm all too well. We've been battling these jerk-offs for a while. The wounds never healed because that was a cinematic middle finger, and everybody in the fandom understood it. Everyone. Look, you could be an old school Star Wars fan and say you like The Last Jedi. I actually know a couple people that like The Last Jedi somehow. I don't agree with it. I don't understand how you reconcile that, but they do. And I do not shame them for that when we have those discussions. We debate it. We debate the creativity. And even those people those few that I am friends with that like that movie all agree. It was an insult. It was an insult to you, to me, to all the fans. The whole fandom knew it. Remember we were being called a toxic minority? Remember that? Do you remember that, guys? Remember the Last Jedi haters are a toxic minority? What have we seen year after year coming out of people from Disney Lucasfilm like Pablo Hidalgo? What have we seen? We've seen them insult, berate, have disdain, arrogant, smug nastiness at the entire fandom. And what types of fans did they generate? Fantivists. Let's start off here. Lucasfilm's Pablo Hidalgo apologized for tweeting emotions are not to be shared in a thread about Star Wars fans' emotional reaction to The Mandalorian. But the damage has been done. Now, I'm not going to read through this whole article, but I will say that it is pretty fair. Shows both perspectives, which is unusual for the media. It's very unusual for the media, because usually they pick up and toe the narrative of their corporate masters. You know, they kneel right down and suckle and tickle, you know, and pat them like ripe tomatoes, whatever they have to do to get their access, to make sure they're in the good graces of their corporate overlords. But it seems like the wind is changing. You know why the wind is changing in the media at this moment? Why they're beginning to recognize, you know, maybe there was a problem with The Last Jedi. Maybe it was more than a vocal minority of fans. Because Disney Lucasfilm came after the biggest YouTuber, the biggest Star Wars YouTuber. And he rightfully clapped back, like we have all been doing, all big and small, well, way smaller than him, like we have been doing for years. But because he happens to have a big platform, a reaction has taken place. Imagine if people like that had stood up for the fans years ago. But I digress. Now that the wind is changing, the access media, the shills, well, maybe not the shills, the access media, they might start reporting the news instead of the narrative. Now, we all pretty much know what happened. Pablo came at Star Wars Theory's neck disrespectfully because Star Wars Theory had an emotional reaction to Luke Skywalker like many did. And some didn't. Some was like, nah, y'all are fools. It's Disney Lucasfilm. This ain't nothing gonna change. It ain't never gonna be better. It ain't never gonna be good because of the people that are in there, because of what they have done. And to be truthful with you, I was kind of mixing it up with friends of mine of that position just a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. We all calmed down because we're all friends. You can have arguments, you can have heated debates and walk away. Believe it or not, that's possible when you're adulting. But then this drops. All of the goodwill, the fact that Luke Skywalker generated so much excitement in the fandom, that in and of itself has to tell you, or you're blind as hell, that the fandom of Star Wars, the fans, not the fantavists, the fandom, were all upset about The Last Jedi. It's an awful movie. It's an awful sequel trilogy. It's not what we wanted. It's not what the fans needed. It's not what the fans wanted. It's ideological driven garbage. I did a video last night. Please check out my last video, and it's a 30-minute video. So if you want to, skip ahead to like the 15-minute mark. Skip ahead to like the 15-minute mark because I go through Disney Star Wars is Dumb. Please go check out Disney Star Wars is Dumb, where there is years of information, insults, snide remarks, the direction under Kathleen Kennedy, the anti-Star Wars direction of Kathleen Kennedy, all documented there for you. And Itchy was one of the people that was trying to tell me, Steve, you got to calm down. This is still Disney Star Wars. And Itchy was right. Hashtag Itchy Baka was right. This is the tweet from Star Wars Theory clapping back at Pablo Hidalgo for insulting him. Or if you're just stopping by here and you've just come into this whole scenario, there was a very disingenuous, very corporate PR team wrote it up for Pablo on another Twitter account that he had. Not even the Twitter account he began getting recluse and insulting people on. It was very corporate, cold, distant. It wasn't even really an apology. It was just like, oh, I meant this. You don't get sarcasm, man, baby? Just condescending. And that's par for the course. If you go back and check out my last video, skip to the 15-minute mark, because I do preface it a lot. Good information. Please watch the whole thing if you would. It's a half hour long. But if you go back and check out that video, there is a nice thread, a story by a woman who was trying to apply for the Disney Lucasfilm social media manager position. Amber Goldsmith, I think was her name. And she was discussing how Matt McGloin, another Star Wars, another Disney Lucasfilm employee, helped to get her an interview for that position, but unfortunately she wasn't the right company culture. And while she was doing this interview, while she was in this office, Pablo, she let us know that Pablo and his friends at the story group, they take tweets from fans and then share them around and laugh at them. They laugh at them. They laugh at you. They laugh at me. They think it's hilarious. When we're upset, when we're crying over something we love, they love it. They love it. Not in a good way. They love to make fun of us, just like Pablo did. There is a history of behavior with Pablo Hidalgo, with all the people at Disney Lucasfilm. All of them. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about Star Wars. They care about agendas. They care about pronouns. They care about creating division. They care about their racism and their sexism. So Mitch Dyer, bottom of the barrel detected. Bottom of the barrel, a fan who cared about the return of Luke Skywalker. Something we didn't get. We got a middle finger. We got Jake Skywalker. We got told we were 50. We didn't need. We were defeated. We were old. We needed to go away. That's what we got. And then Jon Favreau, who might be the future. My hope's in Jon Favreau. I'll be straight honest with you. My hope is in Jon Favreau. Some people it ain't. Some people don't think it's never going to get better. And I got a little bit of faith in him. And he gave us Luke. He gave us Luke because there was a group of fans. We may have been loud, but we weren't the minority who felt this way. But there's been a group of fans who have been fighting asshats like Mitch Dyer and Pablo Hidalgo and Kathleen Kennedy and all the woke hires and all the idiots, all the terrible, divisive people who don't give a damn about you or me for years now. Building up platforms to defend ourselves because we don't have millions of subs. I'm not shaming anybody. What happened to Star Wars Theory is effed up. It's been happening for years. I'm glad he clapped back. That's what we've been doing for years. The difference is a reaction has taken place. The difference is a fake-ass phone call. Like, don't even think. He got a phone call from that. They don't give a shit. They don't give a damn. That's just PR. That's just, that's nothing. That's nothing. You can bend the knee, my brother. You can bend backwards. You can try and be as neutral as hell. And you do you. You proceed to act in your life as you see fit. You absolutely have the right to do that. And I have the right to an opinion. And my opinion states, from observation, from how I have seen these fools act, from what they have told me about themselves, that it does not matter how neutral you try and be. It does not matter how many times you kneel. It does not matter. They hate you. That hate you. That apology was garbage. I have to ask, as I know there's lots of fans of Star Wars Theory. There's millions of fans. He worked for that. He earned that. I have to ask you. You might have been a person who has not tried to recognize the problem. You may just had a problem with the creative direction and you moved into whatever channels facilitate what you enjoy, give you entertainment to talk about Star Wars, but you may have ignored the problems. The problems have come home. The problems have been here. It is time to stand up with the rest of us. It's time to speak your mind. Do you really want to see? WDW Pro just put out an article. I might do a video on it later. And this is an insider that has given us a lot of information that have come to pass about how the reaction to Luke Skywalker, Star Wars Theory's reaction, the reaction of millions of fans, was so detested, was so hated by Kathleen Kennedy and that story group, that they are going to proceed to do everything in their power to shape books and games and comics to defeat the supposed revival of Luke Skywalker under Jon Favreau, because they can't stand it. They want to solidify The Last Jedi. These people do not stop. They double, triple, quadruple down. It is an ideology. It is not about being in a company. Disney, get your house in order. Do you not care, Disney? Really? Do you not care? Are y'all just too rich, too fat, too high on the hog to give a damn? What, people working under you, people connected to your company, have been going just wreck loose on fandom, on customers, on consumers for years. Do you care? Do you care? I don't think you do. There's my good friend Gary. Love my brother Gary. Thank you, the Fandom Menace. Yeah. There's like a random 42. Full harpy mode activated. Lucasfilm employees need to get off social media. Lucasfilm needs new employees. They need new employees. Speaking of that thread that I was talking about in my last video, here's the thread from Amber Goldsmith. Please go check out my last video. I go through the whole thing. I go through a lot of examples of people that work at Disney Lucasfilm. Just a couple of these trash human beings that don't give a damn about you. Very racist, awful people. Fighting for inclusion and diversity. As long as you ain't white, as long as you ain't straight, as long as you don't vote a certain way, as long as you toe their narrative, then you're good. Then you're included and you're diverse and included. But if you don't think like them, you're evil alt-right Nazi. I'm going to touch on this one. I can't even read this name right here, but he says, person says, how cute. You literally insulted probably the most positive aspect of the Star Wars community. A cancer survivor who used the Star Wars universe to stay positive in his childhood through his hero, Luke Skywalker, and made a successful YouTube channel that welcomes all of the Star Wars fandom. I also welcome every person in the Star Wars fandom. So do many others of my brothers and sisters who have been fighting for the Star Wars fandom for years. Fighting for, not kneeling, not begging, not wanting access, not towing any line. Fighting for one another, fighting people like this. People like Mitch Dyer, Pablo Hidalgo, out of Kathleen Kennedy's company culture. It is a damn shame, I think I've said this in the last two videos, it's a damn shame that it took someone who has a positive energy, who tries to bring neutrality and positivity into the fandom, a fandom that where everybody should be allowed to enjoy, come in, talk, feel good, have camaraderie, escape, fall into something that we all love, a lore and a universe that we love. Those are positive things. We're never going to have that. We're never going to have that again. We're never going to have that again. Unless we all stand up to Disney Lucasfilm, to Kathleen Kennedy's company culture, till we let them know that this will no longer be tolerated. All of us. I understand some of y'all never wanted to be in this fight, and you just walked away, and you don't want to have nothing with it. But this is where it's led. This is where it's led. Now the Fantavists are coming after your boy Star Wars Theory. Now he's getting called all the things that we've all been getting called, because he dared to stand up for himself. He dared to love Star Wars. Those aren't Star Wars fans saying that, y'all. No matter what they try and say, what they put in their fucking bios, or what they put out on social media, or what websites they create, or what podcasts they create. They're not fans. They're here to cause trouble. They're here to be bullies. They're here to be divisive. They're here for an ideology, not the fandom. That's not gatekeeping. That's calling it what it is. If you are here to talk about Star Wars, your love for Star Wars, no matter what part of the Star Wars universe it is, if you're here to do that, if you're here to explore that, talk about it, be happy in it, whether it's a passing interest or a deep love, welcome. Welcome. Always been like that. Never had a problem with that. Never. But when you're dealing with Fantavists, when you're dealing with Kathleen Kennedy's company culture, you're only allowed to play in their sandbox if you regurgitate the right narrative. And right now, the correct narrative is hating on Star Wars Theory, the Star Wars YouTuber with the most subs, because they don't care. They don't care. They laughing. They're still laughing at him. They're giggling it up. They are having a grand old time. They are texting each other and emailing each other, slapping each other, giving each other high fives. Look how we trolled this dude. Ha ha, he thinks we apologize. That's the attitude there. They're bullies. The same bullies that lots of us had to escape into a fandom like Star Wars. Are you going to kneel to this? Or are you going to stand with us? I hope you stand with us, because our fandom, our culture, what we love is worth it. Hail to you, my brothers and sisters. Be good to each other. Peace.